I'm Emma Michel with Campus Reform. This week, Gillette released an ad taking on the subject of toxic masculinity. What exactly does that mean? Well, we are here at Georgetown University today asking students what they think about the issue. Do you think that toxic masculinity is a problem that we need to address in society?
In society, I'd say it definitely is something we should address.
It's definitely an issue that most of us face in some way or another.
I'm actually a women and gender studies minor, so we talk a lot about toxic masculinity in some of my classes.
I definitely think it is an issue at large.
I've absolutely heard of toxic masculinity, and I do think it's an issue.
I think it's a huge issue that should be addressed.
It's a real problem, especially for high school girls, as they start to try and break into the workforce, and there's people just kind of breaking them down, saying that it's not good enough because it's usually males.
Focusing on it would be worthwhile here for sure.
I think we need more ads like this because it brings attention to this very serious topic.
People have become more sensitive to it nowadays.
How would you define toxic masculinity as a term in your own words?
Toxic masculinity, I would define as
There isn't a sort of logic to it. I feel like it's more just strutting your stuff and being manly beyond there being a point to be.
I don't really know.
The idea that men have to be a certain way, dominant, physically imposing and all, and to the extent where
and these constructs are not necessarily conducive to building strong relationships between different members and communities.
Yeah, this commentary is very obvious and bland, but you can tell how smart I am from my British accent.
Toxic masculinity could be really anything, anything that puts men over females.
I guess maybe I would say just guys being expected to behave a certain way.
Ooh, that's a tough question. I would say maybe the persistent reinforcement that being a man means a certain thing.
I guess just kind of the societal ideas of what it means to be masculine has it's kind of become something so large that it's become very toxic.
The idea that you have to conform to traditional notions of what it means to be a man.
Miss Woman, do you feel ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready, David.
This is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired this woman's competing.
Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some fucking ass.
Any words for the challenger, Miss Woman?
Good luck, Heather.
Luck is for dudes.
If you had to draw the line somewhere between what's toxic masculinity and what's just normal masculinity, how would you do that?
I don't know, I think it's a very gray line, not one you would be able to easily distinguish.
Wow, that's a hard question.
If someone is, feels like they can't cry or feels like they can't be open and emotional.
Where do you think the line is drawn between toxic masculinity and just regular male behavior?
That's a tough one.
I'd say when it goes against probably when what people might say about you is the main drive and you acting that sort of way, I feel like that is probably when toxic masculinity comes into play.
Maybe you draw the line at a place where somebody feels that just because of masculine norms they have to act a certain way and they're uncomfortable with that.
It's not unusual to go out at a time.
seek you out in a pound of such a crime. If you should ever wanna be loved by anyone, it's not unusual that happens every day.
Once it becomes psychologically or mentally damaging to the individual, once they feel so under pressure that, their mental health gets disturbed or something like that, then I think that's where the line might be drawn.
Stop it. Get some help.
I can hear destiny calling out my name. Failure and dreams both offering, but both offering change. Surrender offers rest.
You guys talk a lot about toxic masculinity, so let's talk about it. But first we need to figure out what is masculinity. It's simply just qualities or attributes that are associated with men. So what part of masculinity is toxic? Well, all it takes is a simple Google search. Let's start with mental and physical toughness, because being mentally and physically tough is toxic. Please tell that to a veteran that fought in World War II. So aggression is toxic. Aggression itself is not toxic, it's how you handle your aggression, which can make it toxic. Aggression's a normal human trait, especially in men, and any male animal on the planet. Stoicism or not displaying emotion, I can kind of agree with that. If you're not showing emotion to your loved ones, then that can be a problem, but does that make it toxic masculinity? No, it just makes it a personal problem. Discriminating against people that are not heterosexual. That has nothing to do with masculinity, therefore how is it toxic masculinity? This is my favorite one. Self-sufficiency. Because it's toxic to do things yourself. Because God forbid you're responsible for your own actions. Y'all are just weak.